Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats Special Edition podcast. I am Rachel Chamness, a shamanic channel and mentor at Sound Waves Heal. Today's episode is part of a special series to give you a real peek inside TAG, my monthly membership. This is a community of lightworkers looking to deepen their connection to higher dimensional light beings and their extraordinary healing and light grids. Lightworkers, what you're about to experience is just a fraction of what we do in TAG every program, not to mention the extensive library of healings, meditations, and transmissions from higher dimensional light beings that is constantly growing. If this sounds like what you've been looking for to advance your light work, we would love to have you. Go to soundwavesheal.com/tag and sign up. We can't wait to welcome you. Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Chamness at Sound Waves Heal. I'm a shamanic channel and mentor. Last episode, we brought forth Artemis and the natural state of being, and that was a very interesting activation to help us with our health in these times when there are so many chemicals in our world, and I thought it was really very helpful. But today I'm very excited to say that we're bringing forth Saint Germain with the violet flame and the white flame. You might be familiar with the violet flame, as many healers do use this violet flame. They do channel it and use it to heal others. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a violet light healing modality. So to us, it looks like light, but it has that transmutative frequency of fire. So it's called violet flame. And he's saying there's also a white flame, and he's going to tell us all about that. He's going to activate us to both of them and tell us how to use it. So I'm very excited to bring him forth for you with trance channeling. But first, we're going to get a little bit of a clearing. He says the clearing we need to start today with will help us to allow the activation to be activated. So it's just a little bit of clearing the auric field and preparing it and helping us to allow the activation to be activated within us. So we'll welcome Saint Germain now. Hello, I am Germain, and you call me Saint Germain. I am happy to be here and to tell you about myself and the violet flame, which is the healing modality that I am most well known for, and there are others as well. You know me as an ascended master, but I have had many incarnations on your earth and in many other places, and am known by many different names and have had many different experiences. You may know me as Merlin, the great wizard. You may know me as Saint Germain. You may know me as Serapis Bey. You may know me as different beings from different lands, and I am always the same in my higher self, but my many incarnations may have different personalities that come through for you. And so today I come through as myself, as you know me as Saint Germain. And I am always here for those who wish to call me forward, who wish to use the violet flame, who wish to invoke my help for healing and light. I am always available. I am also many times a spirit guide to many humans on the planet, and I have been devoting myself to be an ascension guide to help those who wish for my help in ascension. And so you may call on me anytime. I'd like to talk about the violet flame. It is what I'm most well known for. It is another type of healing that you may channel, and it has a very strong transmutative energy. And so with a violet flame, many things will transform, and you never know in what way that will happen, because transformation can be different in many different ways. It can be a complete turnover of everything you know. It can be like the flame, destroying everything that's not well aligned and rebuilding in perfection. It can be sometimes subtle, a slight change over time until you find that you feel like a completely different person, or a completely different outlook on life has become your norm. It is different for every situation and for everyone. And so when you invoke this violet flame for transmutation to change for the better something or someone or a situation, know that that can happen in any way. Always know that it is happening for your very best. And sometimes there is a transition period, not just for this type of transmutation, but for all. As you know, for you are a work of this transmutative art in itself. For you have gone through great transformation already, and as humans, you will go through more as you constantly work on yourself. If this feels right to you, then you, of course, are a light worker who is working through your life to find the light and to find your true self and your purpose and how to help yourself and others in a beautiful way. That is the calling of the light worker. And so I am very pleased for all that use the violet flame, and I'm always pleased to help more wield this flame as well. As with all light healing modalities, you will wield it by just using what you call your imagination. And this is how you direct this flame with visualization, or with feeling, or with knowing, or with stating. If you'd like, I'm using the violet flame. If you have problems with using your senses in a way that feels like imagination or visualization, then you can feel it, you can state it, you can intend it. But however you intend to use a violet flame, once the intention is there, it will move through you. Many humans like to use their hands to wield such beautiful channeled energy, and this is a very easy way to do so. And so today I will attune you so that you may use it, or use it maybe a little bit stronger than you have been if you are already attuned. And I would like to talk about the white flame. What is the white flame? The white flame is a type of transmutative energy that is what you might think of as white hot. It is a quicker transformational energy, but it is very, very strong and can perhaps cause some complete changes in what is happening to the client or to yourself now. So if it is a situation that's already feels in chaos, or already feels like it is burning down to renew, then this is a great time to use the white flame. Or for desperate measures, when the client or you are fine with big changes as long as it does change and change quickly, then the white flame may be used. And you may also use just a little white flame by imagining the violet flame with just a small stripe of white. You may use them together. And you may always use the violet flame even a little more gently by imagining it a little bit lavender. And this will be the intention of using it a little bit lighter and less disruptive. For transmutative energy is often very disruptive, but it is always for a good cause and for a wonderful outcome. And you can find that many of your positive outcomes did follow some trying times, and you may be feeling trying times now. As we are in ascension, this is what is happening. The ascension time you are in now is really showing you what needs to be released. It is highlighting that. And this is another way that you can use the white flame to highlight what needs to be released. If there is a large problem or a complicated problem, and you need to know the core of what needs to be released for a quicker transformation, then the white flame is what you can yield there to highlight what is at the core, what needs to be released. Many times, if you release the core of the problem, then everything falls away. And so in this way, it can be very helpful. And this is very perfect for where we are in ascension right now, because it is where you are looking for these core problems or to release anything that is showing up for you now. And so if you need help to know what to clear, the white flame can help you there as well. And I'm very happy to be here among you to help you with this. The white flame can also help you where you feel deeply discouraged, or if your client feels discouraged or depressed. And in this way, you can use the white flame to release these deep emotions for those who are deeply afflicted by the dense energies that we are all feeling in this time. And yes, we feel them too in some ways. When we tune into our humans that we help, we can feel that these emotions are very heavy for you. It may not be exactly the same, as we are not in our human incarnation, but we can see that difficult times can be had. And so we always encourage you to use the tools at your disposal, whatever healing that you have. And this is a great place to start if you don't have any modalities that you use regularly. We have a few questions for Saint Germain that I've collected from my 5D Daily Facebook group. Here's the first question.
Saint Germain, how are you assisting humanity at this time, and is there anything more that we can focus on and do from this end to help move everyone forward?
At this time, I help many as a spirit guide and many as an ascension guide. I come forth to help those who call on me or who may find me as part of their guide and guidance system. I help those with the violet flame and now the white flame to help others and to clear the way for ascension. For the clearing of the human body is one way to bring forth ascension. As more ascend to a lighter place, releasing more density, then it is easier to get to ascension. And then as more humans in one place have enlightened, then the actual density of the physical space is also enlightened. The most important thing for each light worker to focus on is themselves, to help yourself release the burden of old fears, of old anxiety, stories, and of old truths, to embrace the present moment and to heal yourself in every way possible, to find joy in your life. And when you can, to help others do the same. And that is the best way to move forward the whole planet, is to just focus on yourself and your own spaces. And if everyone can do that, then it will be very quick indeed to transform the whole planet to a higher dimensional state. And we have another question from the collective.
Lightworkers, I hope that you are being so deeply enriched by this episode and these connections. There is truly nothing that compares for your growth as a human, a healer, and a business owner to connect to the messages and healing of higher dimensional light beings who are here for our ascension. They are literally there waiting for you to ask for their guidance and help in all of these areas. And in our Tag Lightworker membership, we access them together every day and strengthen our ability to access them individually. If this sounds like the place for you, go to soundwavesheal.com, click on the membership button, and sign up. We can't wait to see you there.
Is there something I can do or leave as an offering to the Saint Germain frequency?
As a being of light, I have no ego and do not need offerings at all. I only wish for you all to improve yourselves daily, to commit yourselves to the path of happiness, which means to work on yourselves and release your density and shadow work and focus on the present moment and focus on the beauty of the world and on your own happiness. And in this way, you will find many ways to then help others, and your light will grow and will affect many in this way. For all that you touch will touch many, and they will touch many. And so your light will grow through many to help all. And here's our next question.
Are Saint Germain purple flame frequencies and Merlin frequencies the same? I always ask for assistance from both.
The violet flame frequency is the same from both of my incarnations. It is the same from Saint Germain and from Merlin and from all others who bring forth the violet flame as well. It is a channeled energy from source, and so we are all wielding it in the same way. And so there is really no difference between the two. Now, of course, we all have our own personalities and ideas of how we use our healing modality. And so, even in different incarnations of myself, I may use it in a slightly different way, as you will use it in a slightly different way, as you use your own modality mixed with the violet flame, which of course will naturally happen because each of you does have your own healing modality is expressed through you at all times. And we have one last question.
Saint Germain, this is Lucia. Is it necessary or helpful to use crystals such as amethyst when connecting to and working with the violet flame?
It is not necessary to use any physical item to use the violet flame or the white flame. However, if you would like to use an amethyst or a quartz crystal or selenite and infuse it with the same color as you see it, flame of healing energy, you can. You may use an amethyst and fill it with a violet flame to be used in person on yourself or your loved ones or your clients to hold this crystal and receive some violet flame energy in that way. And you may do the same with the selenite or with the quartz or with anything that is white or clear with the white flame as well. Well, that's interesting. I like those answers. Very good questions. Thank you all so much for sending them in. So the violet flame is a light modality, and it is very similar to another light modality that I teach very inexpensively on my site, which is called a Protection and Shielding class with Angel Fire. And Angel Fire is a type of light modality that we channel from the angels. And so many of my followers wanted to know if the violet flame and violet angel fire was the same, and it is very, very similar. When I ask Saint Germain this, he tells me that the violet flame is actually much more potent and stronger than the violet angel fire, but that once you make an intention to meld the two together, then whenever you use violet angel fire, you are also using the violet flame. And I have done that for years. I just intended that the two are one. And whenever I use violet angel fire to heal something, which I use often with Reiki and other modalities that I use, then it is the violet flame. So you can just make that intention. So they're not exactly the same. They're a little bit different, but you can mix them. So what is angel fire? Angel fire is just basically it's a prayer. So it's like praying to the angels where you're asking them to use their light to heal something. But it makes it very quick and easy to just imagine the color and use it in that way. So you can use it like a waterfall of beautiful violet light. And this would be just a quick thought that you could have of putting yourself in this shower of violet light and how it's cleaning you off. And instead of spending a lot of time thinking, who's the angel that I call forth? How can I ask them to do this? Dear angel, please clear me with your violet light from head to toe. Instead, you just think of this in just a millisecond, and the angels see your prayer and they do the action of the clearing for you. And so anyone can use this, and I teach all the colors, and you've probably heard of all kinds of angel fire, like put yourself in a purple bubble or use white light or something like that. And of course, all this light is just, it's really a visualization, it's a prayer, and your angels will help you do it. And once you are flowing Reiki, you're actually mixing it together so that once you learn how to use Reiki and wield the Reiki healing ray, which is a channeled healing, and you add angel fire to it, then it becomes more potent. And it's almost like you are wielding it like the violet flame where it's coming out of your hands or maybe your heart or your eyes, but it's coming through you in sort of a different way. because it's now mixed with a healing modality that you know how to use very well. So that's why I always recommend Reiki to everyone, because once you can use the Reiki ray, now it will help you use any kind of modality easier and better and much stronger. So when Saint Germain was talking about using your own modality, yes, we all have a modality that we come here with, but when we don't know how to wield channeled energy, we sometimes use our modality from our own light, and it can deplete your energy and your light. So when you use Reiki, when you channel, all of these things where you're channeling light, channeling messages, channeling healing, it should not make you tired. So if it is making you tired, then there are a few tweaks that you can do to make sure that you're not. And one thing is to learn how to use Reiki. That's a great way to clean that up. And another is just to learn how to release the energy once you're done, so cutting cords or cutting off the energy, to make sure that you are channeling energy and not using your own energy. That sort of thing will help you. When I use Reiki and when I channel and when I trance channel, I feel invigorated afterwards. I feel great. Now, if I do hours and hours of it, then I could feel a little tired from sitting in one place for a long time, sure, but it's not the same. It's not tiring me. It's not making me tired or making me depleted. So if you are feeling depleted from channeling or from healing, then you might need a little help to circumvent that. Now Saint Germain will activate us to the violet flame and then the white flame. Solaya maya kokakayan sayaliyo. Ananduria manoniyo. Oh, I loved that. It's really cool. I felt him open you up and to make it go faster. He did something to help the channeled violet flame like go through you more strongly or faster. And also then the white flame, to me, he just showed me this beautiful, I think it was a magnolia, a beautiful flower, white flower opening and opening. And then I also felt that he was giving us a little taste of that, a big transformation in our life now that we are attuned to the white flame. And I heard him say that, we will be kind of experiencing a little bit of transformation now with this activation, or maybe a lot, maybe not just a little. So be prepared for things to get way better for you and hopefully in the easiest way possible. So actually, let me bring him through for a little bit of helping to make it a little easier for you in case a big transformation is needed. So That felt great. I usually end with a card from my Fae deck, Elemental Magic and Manifestation. But today, I really felt called to bring forth a different deck and a special card that I didn't pull, but I actually went through the deck to find it. It's Lady Portia, and it's from Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. And interestingly enough, when I went through the deck to pull it out, it was right next to the Saint Germain card. So you can see they both use the violet flame, and they're actually right next to each other, which is really interesting. So I'd like to tell you that I recorded this episode 3 times. Yes, this is the 3rd time I've recorded it. Something happened each time. And in fact, actually 4 times, because the first time I started, I had yet another difficulty with it. So I really felt that the reason that happened was because I needed to bring Lady Portia through. So I don't know exactly what she's going to say, but I am going to channel her for you. I am very pleased to step into this episode to speak to you all about the violet flame and wish for you to know that the violet flame encompasses both feminine and masculine energy. It may be known as a more masculine concept or masculine energy concept, but it is in fact a very beautiful balance, and that is part of what helps it to transform so much. We are very pleased that you will be using this modality going forward, and we hope that many will be attuned to this by watching this show or attuned to the violet flame in other ways. And we wish for you to try it on everything and not to worry so much about what changes it might bring. For all changes are part of the learning and growing experience of the human and of your soul path. And it is so important for you to go through it all. And it also makes life interesting, whether it feels that way in the moment or not. I'd like you to know that I am also here to be called on to help you wield the violet flame at any time, or the white flame as well. I hope that you will keep track of how the violet flame works for you. And I hope that you are keeping track of your ascension journey with a type of journal or writing of your experiences, or even videoing, as you have many ways to record yourself, perhaps audio, so that you can really reflect on what you have done here in this life. I definitely recommend writing because it is easier to look back and reflect upon. And there is much that you might bring forward from that journal in the future. Thank you so much, and I wish you well. Please call on me, and I love to help with transformation and transmutation. And now Lady Portia would like to bring forth a channeled healing for beautiful changes, she's saying. So let me bring that forward for you. Hananda surutisi amatoya laya papapakaya alashu ayano kurisi alayano kukuki adadai ayanai. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you next time, where I'll be trans-channeling a Zeta Arcturian being who's another partner guide of mine, a friend of mine, I should say. His name is Zabayo, and he is a being that I bring forth quite often in my podcast, 5D Channels and Chats, and he always likes to tell stories. They're called Tales from the Universe. And so in this next episode, he's going to come forward and talk to us about living your story. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you soon.
Lightworkers, what an honor it has been to share this space with you again. I hope you have received guidance and clarity from our time here together. Remember that this is just the tiny tip of the iceberg of what's available to you in the Tag Lightworkers membership. Come join us at soundwaveshill.com. I can't wait to meet you inside. Until then, this has been Rachel Chamness on 5D Channels and Chats Special Edition Podcast. See you next time.